everyone, welcome to Chomping at the Bit, where I can give my opinions about the latest movies that have come out or films I've wanted to see. Now, Jurassic World Fallen King, or not Fallen Kingdom, Jurassic World Dominion. Sorry, get those movies mixed up. But yeah, this is the third of the Jurassic World trilogy and sixth in the mainline Jurassic Park series. And hopefully it will be the last one. But yeah, okay, going in here, warning everybody, what you are about to hear are spoilers for for this movie. So if you haven't seen it, please click off now. Come back later when you've seen it. But yeah, we finally are at the third and final film. But in the last movie, all the dinosaurs got loose and they're out in the world. And they're not wreaking, and you would think that in the movie they're wreaking havoc or like causing like humanity to almost veer to extinction, but the movie isn't really like that. I mean, yeah, the dinosaurs are out killing people, but guess what? Some of those dinosaurs are now just like being trafficked on the black market in places. They're just out roaming around the world. And some people just don't really, and some people don't really seem to care about it all that much. Other people are a little concerned, but the main plot line of the movie is apparently some genetics company that still bought all the research that was left behind by Engine. And of course, it was all about, and of course, literally, they brought back prehistoric locusts for some weird reason. And of course, just like locusts, they will eat crops up. And of course, not only would that, it will cause a massive ecological collapse. And Lena Dunham's character obviously is the one who first discovers this. And of course, she goes and talks to Sam Neill's character, Alan Grant, and of course, and basically that's kind of how it all starts off. But also, then we cut back to Owen Brady. We also have Owen Brady in this, played by Chris Pratt. We also have Bryce Dallas Howard as Claire Darling, and thankfully, the two characters that I absolutely did not really like in the last movie, Zia and Franklin, played by Daniel Pineda and Justice Smith, respectively. They weren't in this movie all that much. Thank goodness. At first, when I first saw the movie, I thought, oh, they're gonna be tackling like I hope they get eaten or something. But no, they were just there helping Claire out with something, like helping them. Like there even was like a illegal like breeding farm that they saved like a baby triceratops from, and that was like the extent of their characters. And I think like Franklin gets like a job at like the CIA, and he helps them track like some criminal who was trafficking dinosaurs. But then it cuts back to Owen Brady and Claire, and of course they're raising the little clone daughter of Lockwood's daughter, Macy. And it turns out they not only kidnap Blue. I mean, you think from the trailer they kidnap like Blue's. Yeah, Blue's back, of course. They kidnap Blue's baby that she just birthed all on her own. Because we all know the plot point, yeah, you know, from the original film, that these dinosaurs will just breed by themselves. They don't need mates or anything like that to do it. And that's just that's the main point of it. Blue gets kidnapped, but also Macy gets kidnapped too by some other genetics company. I forgot the name of it already. But yeah, they get kidnapped. Owen and Claire go off to try to save her. And apparently, yeah, they're kidnapped by some traffickers who, one of them who is just obviously played by the chick, I forgot the actress' name, but I know her as like the character Sierra from that Joss Whedon show Dollhouse on Fox. So she's in this movie, but she's not in it for very long. You think she'd get like attacked by like dinosaurs or something, but she uses that little thing like the Indoraptor was meant to be used for. They breed like these like raptor creatures, and obviously they're bred and trained to kill by using laser technology and sticking them on human targets. So that plot point was used there. So kind of gives a little credence. And this kind of stuff happens in Malta for some weird reason, because I mean, I guess that's the crossroads of where all this black market dinosaur trafficking stuff comes from. And that's about it. And you move, and once that happens, of course, dinosaurs get loose, random people. There's like one random guy that gets eaten by some couple carnosaurs that get loose in the streets. But overall, it's just like those raptors are just chasing him because they were trained to sick on humans, apparently, by these traffickers of some kind. But she doesn't show up. But I think Owen Brady's partner from the first film, that African dude, I almost completely forgot his name too. But he's there. He's just there, and he kind of like was with some federal organization trying to stop all this stuff and stop all this illegal trafficking and shit. But yeah, they meet, and also while there, they run into like some pilot who was doing all this stuff, former Air Force, who was formerly a part of the Air Force. And I think a little bit later, she does a few things, but it doesn't feel like, oh, she doesn't like solve everything. But there was one point where I was saying like, oh, at least finally somebody finally grew a bit of a brain for once. But yeah, but moving back, I know not Ian, but Alan and Ellie Samper are going to this like genetic research company, and they obviously create a sanctuary for all the dinosaurs up in the Italian Alps for some reason. And of course, like, another person who happens to be there and gave them a lot of leaks and stuff of what's going on there is, of course, none other than Jeff Goldblum's Dr. Ian Malcolm, bringing back his glorious Jeff Goldblumisms and Ian Malcolmisms back to the screen. And again, I know there's one moment in the movie that I'll get to in a minute, but everything about him is just like, again, just makes you think, oh man, Jeff, I missed you. I'm glad you're actually contributing more to this movie than you just being there for just a glorified cameo. And that's one major thing I was worried about with this movie. They're just not. That was worried they weren't going to be there for just like just cameos, but they're all in this together, and I'm just really happy. I'm really happy about that. Everybody's all together. It's just really great. So yeah, they go in there and they're trying to find a sample for one of these Cretaceous period locusts that were mutated. And of course, they even started like bringing back dinosaurs more or less how they originally were back when they actually first roamed the earth. Like, you have like a little some red chicken raptor looking thing. I don't know what it's called, but yeah, it actually, there's a point where that when they're trying to get there, their plane gets attacked, because I think the bad guy sort of like there's like some sort of like system in place that keeps like the pterosaurs all at a respectable level, so they just don't fly away off into the world. So yeah, they turn it off, and that's why it keeps any incoming aircraft into that sanctuary from being attacked by pterosaurs. But they just randomly turn it off, and then obviously the plane gets attacked. And I mean, even the plane scene getting out of Malta was a pretty daring escape. And of course, Owen does it all with style on a motorcycle. Again, we already know he's gonna survive. But again, the tension a lot in this movie. The tension really was there a lot. You think, oh my gosh, so they're gonna die. It's like, oh my gosh. But again, it was like, again, all the main characters had main character shields. I know it's called plot armor, but sometimes it's funny to call them as that. But yeah, all these characters were at a hair's breadth from getting eaten by dinosaurs, and yeah, they survived by the skin of their teeth. But tension was there the whole time. It kind of kept you on the edge of your seat a little bit. But I know, yeah, Macy is captured. She's just kind of just sitting there in the lab. And even then, I think she and Blue's baby, who she named Beta, she kind of has a little bit of a bond with her and sort of like channels a lot of the stuff that Owen does with the whole, stand down thing with her. And even Alan Grant gets a point at the point in the movie actually gets to do it himself. It's pretty a little thing like Brittany old, and it's all about the old meeting the new, and of course the bond of family too. Also kind of perseveres because given how insane people are, it's just good to see a good tight family unit at least with Claire, Owen, and Macy. And again, there's like a little bit of a budding romance between Ellie and Alan throughout the movie, and finally they're like, yeah, let's stick around, just like how kind of tying it a little bit back to the first Jurassic World movie. And it's just another nice thing, and of course, like Ian Malcolm kind of really just brings this thing. He helps get them access, but they kind of know they're being watched. But of course, like again, it makes you wonder. He's still going about the whole thing of like, yeah, we are wielding nature like we are wielding nature like we think we're God, and of course, these people never learn. And look kind of what happened. Like dinosaurs are out roaming the earth, and now with these locust things eating up crops, going to cause ecological problems. But they're trying to find, but of course, Ellie is trying to find evidence on it. They try to get in there, get a sample of it, and of course, some crazy thing some little shenanigans go wrong. They try to destroy of course the main villain is trying to destroy all the evidence and whatnot. And once it gets there, yeah, destroy the crops. Even then, they kind of like burn. They sort of like even do a thing where they even burn all those They burn all the locusts, and once that happens, they somehow they just shoot up through the ventilation and just start burning and falling dead in throughout the sanctuary and whatnot. But even then, once they shut down the power, they somehow conveniently got all the dinosaurs tagged, and so they can move them all toward quarantine, and a lot better than how it did with the second park, where of course they had a uncontrollable Indominus Rex running around, and it actually was more intelligent than a T-Rex or even a raptor combined, because it basically combined a lot of DNA. But once all that happens, of course, like Ian Malcolm sort of just casually just talks about all that stuff. He confronts the villain. You think that you think like this villain is gonna like try to kill some people. Like at least the guy who was the villain in the last movie, at least he was actually willing to kill people. This guy doesn't say like you think he has like the strength to try to kill another person. Hell, the chick who plays Sierra was more willing to kill people than this guy. He's like no. He's like trying, and he's even trying so hard not to just like go over the top. It's just like, dude. And even then, it's like, but even then, it's so predictable near the end that he dies. But as a nice little callback to the original film, just like with Dennis, he gets killed by a Dilophosaurus, but not just one Dilophosaurus, not two, but three of them. He just in that stupid little. Yeah, there actually is like, I think even that sanctuary was somewhat privately funded by Elon Musk in a way, because they even mentioned Hyperloop inside that place. Like, okay, Elon, it makes you wonder, is Elon Musk actually a supervillain somewhat in this universe too? Because I mean, secretly we kind of think he may be like that, but if he is doing it for the interest of humanity, Hyperloop just doesn't seem like it's a very viable option, like a viable business venture. But he still wants to do it because he thinks he's changing the world. Look, Elon, just a tangent here for a second, but Elon, just get your start. I say focus on your Tesla cars and maybe with that Starlink stuff, because if you're gonna make that thing work, please improve upon it and just focus on those things. Because if we already know different ISPs are not very good, and they will often throttle you a lot of the time. Okay, tangent about Elon Musk over. But yeah, he gets killed off predictably, and of course there's a section where he shuts off the power to the Hyperloop, and they have to go through Alan, Macy, as they're trying to escape, get out through the tunnels. And I think there's like another guy, Ramsey, who's like a whistleblower, who Ian Malcolm kind of just says, thanks for being a big help sometimes and just doing a lot of things. Yeah, he's just kind of in the background. That dude was just kind of in the background, just kind of helping out a little bit. He wasn't really contributing much, but he did do the thing and technically did kind of save them, even though Ian was just like, there was a point where they were like stuck at the door at a door out of that hyperloop like tunnel thing in the amber mine. And they're trying. He's trying to get the code, and is like, yeah, they're just trying to get. It's very difficult here. It's just like, yeah, like, dude, come on, you freaking. These people are about to die. You're just casually, nonchalantly, just talking about stuff. It's just like, but again, that's just his classic Ian Malcolmisms, where he's just so nonchalant. And he's not like super like worried about a lot of things. And it's just, again, he's still a delight on screen. Of course, we already got there. We already try to do all this stuff. Try to get the sample. It was all about trying to get that sample out. And of course, Lewis, like Henry Wu, of course, he also ends up working for these guys. And yeah, he made the mistake of wanting to create, but it really kind of shows how spineless he really kind of is. But he eventually kind of makes it out. He eventually does make it out in the end and does correct his mistake. So I will say everything really kind of worked out in the end for him, and it pretty much worked out in the end for a lot of the characters. It was just nice to see everyone come back, all come together, and just escape. But the final bit of the movie where they're trying to get out, it's just like it. There's a lot of points in this movie where the movie just drags on too long. It is too long. I think it's like 20 minutes too long. Because literally there's no point. I mean, there's like a sort of thing that's set up as like a rivalry between two dinosaurs. I forget. One's the T-Rex and there's another like bigger, larger carnivore that's larger. I know they say the name of it, but I can't remember it for the life of me. But yeah, there was a rivalry between that and another one that had like these very, very long like talons or whatever. That's like earlier in the film that I think like Claire was trying to hide from when she ejected out of the plane and Owen and the pilot chick crashed. Yeah, she has to hide underwater from that thing, and of course that thing with its long arms just swats away a deer as it's trying to pick up or graze or something. I don't know what it was doing. But she survives against that thing. And again, it shows up for this this three-way near the end. But again, it starts off with again this T-Rex and this other large carnivore. They have their obligatory fight for no reason. They even say, "Oh, this isn't about us." It's just like, come on, are you kidding me? We do not need this. Look, I know we want to show that the T-Rex, even at her grizzled old age, is still the most badass bitch on the planet. But come on, guys, we do not. I just wanted the movie to be over. Come on. But yeah, they finally get out. Everyone, the whole day is saved. They finally take that sample. They expose this new genetics company. Macy's probably free to just live her life as a normal teenager. And of course, like again, since they know she's a clone. She's a clone of her mother, but the same thing goes. They use that same type of genetic cloning technology to clone her. But actually, again, is not only was she not really a clone, but she actually was virgin birth by the person she was cloned after. So she basically is a genetic duplicate of her mother. But again, she actually was naturally born. So there's that, and I think there's like an even testimony. There's like an old like video log from like the 80s that she looks at that Dr. Wu shows her, saying that yeah, your mother was brilliant, and she even says in there is like, can a duplicate basically match the original and stuff like that. So basically, naturally, she could be naturally gifted and intelligent just like her mother, but again, she just wants to be a normal kid, and I think that's what her mother actually wanted for her, is just to have a normal life. But yeah, all that stuff, all that other shenanigans happened that I've already mentioned. I would say as a finale, it's good. It was great to see all the characters come back and they actually contributed something to the plot. And there was not much else. At least it was better. It was a little bit better than Fallen Kingdom, which I think was probably the low point of the Jurassic Park franchise. But it's a solid ending, and I finally hope this is actually the end. And I hope that I know now there probably is gonna be like a there's gonna be a 6 movie Blu-ray coming out at some point in the future. So if you're one of those collectors and eventually you're gonna go in on that, I say go for it. I mean, like I said, I would say at least give it a watch. I mean, if you want to come back and see the original characters, yeah, there you go. But if you also do like the new characters from the Jurassic World, you like Claire, Owen, yeah, they're back too. So again, seeing everyone, the old and the new characters come together, and it feels a very good conclusion to the franchise. So that's about it. And I will say give it a good watch. And just as a side note, everyone, I want to let everybody know I am on Twitter. You can find me. Hang on, let me do this 1 second. All right, find me here. Find me here at this link. Yeah, you can find me here on Twitter at JetSparks373. And all my the links to all my socials are in the description below. And I will be doing Talking Pinheads tomorrow at 5 o'clock, but I will also be doing a full new Let's Play of the game The Quarry, which is made from Supermassive Games, from the same company that made the Dark Pictures anthology, and of course a personal game I love, Until Dawn. And I really look forward to seeing you guys there. So have fun. So I'll be seeing you guys. Peace out, and may God and the Force be with you. See you next time.